Welcome to a series of AI Oracle. At Great Booster, today we are digging into the origin story of artificial intelligence. And believe me, to really get it, we have to go way, way back. Long before the computers and robots, this is the story of AI, how it was born. Okay, so before you could ask your phone for the weather or watch an AI to create some wild piece of art, have you ever stopped to wonder why this whole idea of the thinking machine ever started? I mean, was it just some genius in a lab or maybe a team of engineers at OpenAI? Well, the real answer is it's a lot older and honestly way cooler and scientifically way messier than you might think. Turns out the answer is pretty much all of the above. Yeah, the story of AI isn't some quick little footnote in a history book. It's a massive epic quest that spans thousands of years. We are talking ancient myths, deep philosophy, even secret wartime dream. Wasn't. So, you ready? Let's dive in. Alright, so first things first. Long before a single computer ever hummed to life, the dream wasn't even about artificial intelligence. No, the goal was something was much, much more fundamental. It was about creating an artificial life. The ancient world was totally obsessed with this idea. You see it in Greek myths, right? They told stories about Talos, this giant man made of bronze who guarded an entire island. But here's the crazy part, it wasn't just fantasy. You had actual engineers in places like Alexandria building real self-moving machines. They called them automata. We are talking about water-powered birds that could actually sing. You could say they were basically the world's first robots. And just think about why they were doing this. This wasn't about building a calculator to do math homework. They were trying to create a companion or a servant who would obey their master, a perfect mechanical copy of a living thing. This fascination shows that of artificial beings, of creating artificial beings, man, it's been wired into us for a very, very long time. Okay, but let's be real. It's a huge leap from a clockwork bird to a machine that can actually think, the GPT which could just answer your questions on a fly. To make that jump, humanity needed to be reinvented. Two absolutely crucial tools. First, we needed a way to do calculations with machines, and second, we needed a simple, clear language for it, which is scientifically called natural language processing, NLP, for reasoning itself. And this journey, it took forever. We are talking centuries back. Back in the 1600s, brilliant minds like Pascal and Leibniz were building the world's first very mechanical calculators. Fast forward to the late 1800s, and you could actually buy one, even if they're super clunky and cost a fortune. But the real game-changing moment, the piece that would connect all the dots, didn't show up until 1938. So you might be asking, what's that one big difference? Well, those early machines were just calculators. They were built to do one job and that's it, like only addition. The absolute world-changing breakthrough was the idea of a machine that wasn't logged into a single task like a calculator. A machine that could literally reprogram to be doing anything in the world. Okay, now for the second ingredient, we needed a very large language for reasoning. This is where a 19th century mathematician named George Boole comes in. He had this incredible insight. Any complex argument, no matter how tricky, could be boiled down to a simple statements that are either true or false. That's it. No maybe, no sort of. He basically created a binary code for thought. And this is the moment it all clicks. Remember that 1938 date? A young engineer at MIT named Claude Shannon, he's just 22 years old, has this total flash of genius. Wait a minute, you heard Claude, right? Let's see it afterwards. He realizes that Boole's abstract of true-false logic could be represented by something physical and simple. An electrical switch being either on or off. All of a sudden, you can take the language of pure logic and literally build it into a machine. So now we have the pieces, right? we have got mechanical calculation and electronic logic. The stage was officially set for one of the most mind-bendingly revolutionary ideas in all of the human history. This is where Alan Turing enters the story. He came up with this idea, this thought experiment for a machine that was so simple. Just imagine an infinitely long tape, kind of like a roll of film. A little head that can read what's on the tape, write new stuff, and move back and forth. And finally, a simple set of rules to follow, a program. That's it. That's a Turing machine. Okay, brace yourself because this is where things get truly wild. Turing basically said that this incredibly simple machine could, in principle, perform any calculation that a human being can. Anything that can be computed, from your math homework to predicting the weather, could theoretically be done by this single universal machine. It's just whoa. And that right there, that was the birth of software. It was his radical idea that the instructions, the program, could be separate from the physical machine. You could change the rules written on that tape, and the very same machine could stop solving an equation and start playing a game of chess. The machine wasn't just a number cruncher anymore. It can manipulate any kind of symbol. So, after World War II, Turing's theoretical dream machine finally became a reality. The first real electronic computers were built, and the few visionaries out there who really understood what this all meant, well, they finally all got together in the same room. I mean, it doesn't sound like a big deal, does it? A summer workshop, right? But this one, casual get together of a few brilliant scientists at a Dartmouth college, this was the Big Bang. This was the moment that launched an entirely new field of science. Just listen to the sheer crazy optimism of their founding mission statement. I mean, the confidence. They were basically saying that intelligence isn't some kind of magic. They believed it was a problem that could be solved, a code that you could figure out, describe precisely, and then get a machine to stimulate. And this conference brought together the heavy hitters, the people who would literally shape this field for decades to come. You had John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, and then this powerhouse duo Herbert Simon and Alan Newell. And they showed up with a pretty big surprise. And here's a little fun fact for you. The name of the field itself was basically a marketing decision. John McCarthy was the guy organizing the whole thing, and he needed a name for it. He thought automata studies just sounded kind of boring. But artificial intelligence? No, that was a name that could capture people's imagination. And well, it definitely worked. Remember that surprise I mentioned? Simon and Newell doesn't just come with theories, they come with proof. They brought along with them the world's first working AI program called the Logic Theorist. And you have to hear this. Before they even ran it on an actual computer, they tested the program by hand, by having the kids act as the computer's different part, just following the rules step by step. And this is what made the Logic Theorist so completely revolutionary. This thing wasn't built to just crunch numbers or calculate missile trajectories. It was designed to think, it was made to mimic the actual problem solving and reasoning of a human being. The incredible dream of that Dartmouth conference, it was already happening. So, what did his first thinking machine actually do? And how in the world did it work? Well, that's a story for our next episode. But here's what you should really take away from all this. AI didn't just pop into existence overnight. It's the amazing result of an ancient dream to create artificial life. A dream that finally, after thousands of years, met the right tools to become a reality.